Hi, I'm Chris and we're going through this year's PSAT. We're on question 38, which is the last question of the math. So congratulations. If you've been watching the whole playlist, you're probably sick of my voice by now, but you've probably learned a lot. And this is the last one for us to go over. It's one of the most difficult questions because it's the last of the grid-ins. So let's take a look at what they give us here. They tell us in the question that we have a triangle with angles x, y, and z. Now, they don't actually draw the triangle for us, so you have to produce this figure on your own, and it doesn't matter which angles you label as x, y, and z. So even though I put x in this corner and y up here and z over there, if yours looks a little different, that's fine. As long as you have a triangle, three sides, x, y, and z representing those three angles, you're in good shape. So let's take a look at the ratios they give us. They tell us the ratio of x to y, and I'm going to just symbolize that here with a colon, which is another way of representing ratios. X to y is 2 to 3. So 2 to 3 is that ratio. And then y to z, so if we look at y to z, kind of compare them all together, y to z is 3 to 5. So that means that x is 2 when y is 3, and y is 3 when z is 5. Now, if these numbers were different, then we would have to multiply everything by a common value to try to find something in common to compare the ratios. But whenever this number is the same, if you're comparing these two and then these two, as long as you have something in common, you can kind of scrunch these together and you can compare all three at once. This is going to work out for x to y to z is 2 to 3 to 5. So remember, when you have those two, kind of scrunch them together, and I'll actually just go ahead and write that as one value up here. So the ratio of 2 to 3 to 5 is the ratio of x to y to z. Now, if you're looking at your triangle, you might be saying, wait a minute, my angles of my triangle can't be 2, 3, and 5. That doesn't add up to 180. What's going on here? And you're right. This is just the ratio or the relationship of these, but it's not the exact value. And we know that 2 plus 3 plus 5 certainly won't get us all the way to 180, which is what we need for the sum of the interior angles on that triangle. So what do? Well, to expand a ratio, the ratio will still remain intact. Those relationships will be the same as long as you multiply each by the same value. So you could double each of them or triple each of them or multiply each one by 10 or multiply each one by 1,000,000. As long as you're multiplying them each by the same value, you're going to arrive at the same ratio. So here, we have 2 times something. We don't know what it is. Let's call it x. And we have 3 times that same thing. So we're using x again. And 5 times that same thing again. So as long as we're multiplying the 2 and the 3 and the 5 all by x, then when we add those up, we want to know what is that value of x for which we're going to get up to our total. And you know what? Let me do you a quick favor here, just to keep track of it. We're multiplying them all by the same thing. I just realized we have an x in the problem, so we don't want to use that. Let's use something else. Let's call it 2a plus 3a plus 5a. Sorry about that, but it is important to make sure that we keep our variables separate so we know when we find a certain value what that actually represents. If we combine like terms, that will give us 10a equals 180, and that means that a equals 18. Okay, so are we done with the question? Hopefully you said no, because they want to know the value for x. They want to know what is this angle over here, and to solve for that angle, we just have to make sure that we only look at what x represents. X was represented here by 2a, so to find our final answer, we have to do 2a, which is 2 times 18, which is equal to 36. And that will be the value for x that you're going to grid in as your answer on question 38. So congrats, you finished going through all of this year's PSAT math explanations. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them in the comments section below. You can also contact us and visit our website or email us with questions that you have, and let us know if there are more topics you'd like to see covered. I'll make sure that either myself or one of our other teachers records some video material and instruction for you to be able to have access to. Thanks for watching.